Hey guys, we're back. This time we're taking a look at another Merchant's Cove character. This time around it is the captain. And as the captain, you're going to be commanding a fleet of ships, moving them about the different islands around Merchant's Cove to try to gather up treasure and other goods to sell to the heroes. In our little guide here, you can see a close-up of our board. And it's broken up. You can see these lines kind of split the board up into different sections. All of your boats originally are going to start here in the cove, and then they're going to spread out based on the actions you take. This inner ring here, these actions all the way around, allow you to fish to get small goods. This one at the top allows you to remove cursed coins from the island. We'll get to that in a minute. These outer ones will have 4 random treasure chests on them, one on each island. When you get out there, you'll reveal them. Those are going to be your large items. Unlike other characters, the captain actually has 3 of each large item, giving her a chance to make more money off of them if you get lucky than any other character, because most characters are limited to 2 per large item. So that's a bonus, but yours are random on what's available. You can't make a specific item like other characters, so you have to keep that in mind. These outside islands are also your faction sponsorships. However, unlike other characters where they're unlocked and they stay unlocked, these are only available if you have a ship patrolling that section come the market phase. So that's something to keep in mind. And then finally up here we have the Pirate's Island. And various actions are going to make you put coins on these. One such thing is these markings here. Normally you have to move orthogonally. So across here, basically across the dotted lines. However, these allow you to move diagonal at the cost of putting a coin on the island here. There's also other ways to do that. But if there's ever 7 coins on this island and you go to put another one, and there are no more because there's only 7 coins, you're going to get corruption. So you have to keep that in mind. Having a boat here when you do the Having a boat here when you do the import action allows you to remove all of the coins off here and you actually score points for them. So ideally you want to get up to 7 and then use that import action to get those, and it's a free 7 points if you can time it right, or however many coins are various on the island at the time. You can also leave a boat there, and like the sponsorships for patrolling those areas, you get the bonuses for that. This will allow you to remove a corruption if you have a boat in there patrolling that area. So pretty easy stuff on here. It's probably the second easiest character in the game. And we'll get right into how she works. So on our board here, we only have 6 options for where to move, which is less than most of the other players. 2 of them being the same 2 options that every character has: hire villagers and activate your staff. So it leaves us with 4 unique things for this character. The first one's pretty self-explanatory. You go here, it allows you to move a boat 1 space. It costs 1 hour to do, and you take one of your boats and you're going to move them across a dotted line 1 space. Now again, this inner circle allows you to get your smaller goods. The outer circle allows you to get your larger goods. And these boats don't have very big bases. I found a pattern for 3D printed bases so they're a little more stable. I just haven't made them yet. So I suggest doing something like that or you're going to find them tipping over all the time. But anyway, we're going to move 1 boat, 1 space, and that's going to be our turn, 1 hour. It'll go around and come back to us. Now we can do the most fun action, I think, on her board. And it's randomized a bit, but it's a 2-hour action to use the compass. And we have this cool spinner compass thing here. And you'll see there's different icons on the 4 corners. You're going to spin this, see where it ends up. In this case, we actually ended up on the best one, I think. And this one allows you to move 2 boats. I'll move the spinner just so we can read it. We get to move 2 boats. So you can move 1 boat, 2 spaces, or 2 separate boats. I think we'll move 2 separate boats, so we're going to put 1 here like that. And then we're going to take this one, and we're going to move 1 there. Now that we have a boat near this island, we can flip this over and see what we have. And we have a green large treasure here. So that's good to know. The next icon on here means that we need to put 1 coin on the Pirate's Island, one of the cursed coins there. And then this one is the nice thing here. It means we can willingly take a corruption card, which in this case we will. We'll draw our corruption card in order to spin again. So we can spin again, And we got that again, which is awesome. So you can really stockpile up the moves here. So we get to move 2 more boats. I'm going to move them both out to here. We get to put another coin on the island. And again, remember, if we ever get more than 7 coins on that island, we're going to start taking corruption from that as well. I don't think we're going to take more corruption, though, to spin again, though we could if we wanted to. And we're going to leave it at that. The other options on here are to move 3 boats and then get 2 coins on the island. Then down here is move 4 boats, get 3 coins on the island, or 3 and 2. So these kind of doubled. But overall, though, it's a pretty cool thing, and this is pretty well made. The board is super thick, and the spinner is designed in such a way that I don't see it wearing out or going bad. You do have to be careful that you don't bend the arrow too much in storage, but the base game storage seems pretty fine, and the custom storage I made was designed specifically for that. So we're going to move this over here, put this back. That's going to end our turn, though, but for 2 hours worth of movement, we got to do all that. We would have got to go again if we wanted to take extra corruption, too, just because we kept spinning that. So that's the cool thing about her. She's very random on things, but if you plan ahead, you can set up some cool stuff. So now it comes around, it gets back to our turn again, and we're going to try to take this action over here, which is our fishing action. So we look down here, and we have 2 boats here in the green, 1 boat in the red. So we can claim any or all of those. We can claim more if there were any more up there too. So we're going to do our red here. We put the boat back into the bay. Anytime you do one of these actions, you have to go back to the bay. But we're going to get one of our red goods, put it on our display. Then we're going to do one of our green boats and bring them back. And we get a green item on display. Now we could do both green boats if we wanted. But I think at this point we are not going to do the second one, because say we want to use him for something else later on. It just remains out there. It's optional if you want to use them all or not. You could and get the extra good, but we're going to wait on that one just because we're doing examples here. So that's going to take us 2 hours to do that. Ideally, if you get all 4 boats in a place, it becomes a very lucrative action because you can get stacks of these by setting up your boats ahead of time. Being able to go straight out, get the red and green items very quickly, you can stockpile red and green small items very quickly, which gives you the incentive to try to get those red and green boats, or boats with red and green meeple on them, to dock at that center dock. That's going to be your goal, to earn quick money with the captain, although others can make use of that too. So it's a strategy, but I don't know if it's a game-winning strategy, but it'll definitely earn you some quick points early on. So it goes around, comes back to us again. And now we have our import action. And we only have 1 boat that can do that currently, but we're going to do it anyway, just for this case of example. Ideally, you want to get multiple boats moved out to these locations to do these import actions to make the most out of it. So right now, though, for our example, we're going to do this. It means we get to import this large green treasure, put it there. This boat will return to our dock, and we will draw a new random treasure to replace that one out there. Now, had we have another boat out there, when this one was out, it would immediately be revealed, because any boats that are in these sectors will reveal the treasures nearby. So throughout the course of our game, we're going to get our boats spread out. They're going to be on various locations, doing various things, and you're going to keep adding coins to the island, depending on what you want to do. Once there's a nice stack of coins piled up on your island, you don't want to get too high because you'll start getting a corruption. But once you get them up there a little bit, if you have a boat in this area, you can again take that import action, which allows you to remove all of the tokens that are there, and you get 1 gold for each of the tokens removed. So that's another way to make quite a bit of money. Alternatively, if you have a boat in this space here, just above the island in the fishing circle, when you take the fishing action, it will allow you to remove 4 coins from the island. However, you don't score any points for that. It just lowers the amount of coins on the island. But you're going to keep going around doing those basic steps, and that's pretty much how play will continue for the character. When you get over here to your staff icons, this is upside down, I just noticed. Someone will catch that in the beginning. On the back of our book here, we have a list of the different staff actions that we can have. So once you start getting some townsfolk here in these spots, The first one is a navigator, which allows you to spend 2 movement points and then add a curse token to the pirate island, or draw a corruption card if you can't. So obviously if these are all in use, you won't be able to put any on there. But it basically lets you move 2 of your boats. So you can move 2 of your boats 1 space, at the cost of a coin going to the island there. Our second option here is the angler, which allows you to fish with only a single ship. Now when you go fishing yourself, you can fish with any and all ships in the area. When you do the angler action from your staff, you only get to fish with 1. But you do get to move, so you can move to set up, then fish. And then our final one here is the scavenger here, which allows you to remove a coin from the pirate island and then advance the tracker by 1. So again, as you start building these up, and the last one, of course, allows you to remove a corruption card, as with all the characters. But once you get 1 or 2 of these in place, it's really not worth the 2 hours to do it. You're also going to be getting bonuses as you hire the villagers. They have little bonuses on the cards, so keep that in mind too. But once you get 3 or 4 of these in here, then it becomes really worthwhile to take that staff action. And these all combo together. So you move 2 boats, add a coin to the island. Then you get to fish with 1 of your boats. Then you get to remove a coin from the island and score gold for it. And of course you get to remove a corruption card. So once you build this up, hers is useful. I don't think it's as useful as others to get the villagers and staff going, but it can be. In the end, though, it allows you to do multiple different actions, where up here you're only doing 1 at a time. And almost all, well, aside from the move 1 space, all of our actions are 2-hour actions anyway. So getting the ability to do multiples here for that same 2 hours definitely becomes worth it if you can get people on these spots. She does tend to get a lot of corruption between whether you're not paying attention to the coins on the island, or if you're spinning to take the extra spin on there, which is probably the one I use most often. I spun it again too. This thing waited. But anyway, waiting to see. There, no, it went to the next one. Okay. So getting a villager who removes corruption is definitely helpful. The big thing you got to keep in mind is that unlike all of the other characters, well, I guess the Chronomancer has something similar, but you can't actually permanently unlock your sponsorships. They're in these 4 corners here. And in order to gain a sponsorship, you have to have a boat in those corners. Now, when it comes time for a sponsorship, whenever there's a boat in the corner too, it's going to flip this over. So when it comes time for the sponsorships, though, that comes on the market phase. When the market phase is coming around, you're looking, there's a red large item and a blue large item. If I go here and import those, I get to keep those. But it brings the boats back to the port. So can I make more selling these at market this turn? Or should I leave my boat here and get the sponsorship? And she's one of the only characters that have to decide on that, because if you bring the boat back, you no longer get the sponsorship, so it's a trade-off. Generally, I find that taking the goods is going to be better. However, if your last turn you move a boat there and it reveals the goods, you don't have that option to take it, and you have the boat there, so it's all a matter of timing. But keep that in mind. Also, having a boat here in the Pirate Island section, when the market phase comes around, you get to remove a corruption, so you don't even need the staff member to do that if you have a boat around there. Again, that falls under the category, though, if there's a bunch of coins on the island. You can also use that import action to remove all these and get gold for each of these removed. Is that worth losing the 1 corruption by leaving the boat there, or do you want to wait and do that later? Those are the decisions you're going to have to make as the captain. Overall, she's a pretty fun character. I think probably the second easiest of the ones in the basic set, and I think the second easiest overall too. She's pretty straightforward on how it works. There are obviously ways to get quick money by moving out here, taking a couple quick turns to get some boats out here. You can get all 4 boats out here relatively quickly in 2, maybe 3 turns, depending on what you spin. And then getting a stockpile of red and green items. As I mentioned before, that's a quick strategy to get points, but at the same time, I don't know if it's a great strategy to get a lot of points. The red and green items do sell for the least, so have to keep that in mind, but it's an option out there. Ideally, her biggest strength is her biggest weakness at the same time. There are 3 of each of these large items, where everybody else only has a 2, so it is possible to get a really good turn and reveal and have, 3 yellow or blue items on the board. So there, yeah, you got 3 yellows there. Yellow and blue sell for the most of anything in the game. If you can manage to get 3 yellow items on your market or on your sales board over here to be able to sell, and you get a boat full of guys on the large dock, that's a killing right there. But it is completely random on when and where these show up, and the chances of getting 3 and picking them all up at the same time are pretty slim. But it is a possibility there, so there is a bit of luck in this character as well. Overall, though, I think she's a pretty fun character and interesting to see more. I've only played her once myself, but I'm interested to see more of how her character works. And I see threads. There's 2 different threads going on BGG where somebody says she's overpowered and somebody says she's underpowered in the same one. So they all balance to me. We haven't really had a runaway winner in the game yet. All the characters seem pretty balanced. The difference is the blacksmith and the captain, because they're easier characters, I would say, learn. And once you learn the mechanics and learn what you need to do, you can play them better. So since these are easier to pick up, it tends to be easier to score well with them. So that you need to keep in mind. However, any of the other characters, once people get the hang of them and learn the tricks and learn how to play them, are just as comparable. That's going to wrap it up for our look at the captain from Merchant's Cove. Hope it helps you guys understand the character a bit more. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. As always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.